This morning we will talk about SAVANT K9, and they breed functional molossus functional mastiffs. And why do I say this? Because most people think that SAVANT K9 are breeding BANDOGS, which they are most known of. But I say functional mastiffs because they also breed a certain type of bull lurcher that's more of a mastiff type than your average bull lurcher. So in my opinion should be more of an ALAUNT lurcher. So the ALAUNT gentil, which was the running mastiff, was a type that was used for catching, for example, boar and the likes. So a dog fast enough to close the distance with the prey and strong enough to handle it. And it's a little bit different than a BANDOG. BANDOGs are very good at catching the prey, but are not as fast as this running type of mastiff. We also call this the light mastiff. And they are, in its essence, a cross between running dog and, for example, greyhound, and more of a combat-orientated dog. And very often, those that work their dogs are using the bull cross to do this, or the bull lurcher. But in case of SAVANT K9, they are more like the ALAUNT gentil. That's also been bred by other breeders. They want to first revigorate the English Mastiff as a more healthy breed. So they breed in a little bit of greyhound blood, but also those who are seeking for a stronger type of, a bigger type of running Mastiff. And in this case they also use staghound. So that is already a cross between running dog and other types, and a little bit more heavier set. But in this case they are not seeking ultimate speed or ultimate athletic capabilities, but they seek a fast and strong type of dog. That being said, their main breeding program is involving this BANDOG program that they have, which is very well known. Also their running mastiffs are performance orientated, which is a good thing, but their BANDOG program is a little bit different than that of others. It is heavily focused on Mastino Napolitano, so the Italian mastiff blood, but it also incorporates other blood, of course. So American Pit Bull Terrier for athletic prowess, but they also have bred in a little bit of Presa Canario, sometimes Presa Canario with a little bit of shepherd blood. For example, they have one example that is 25% of Dutch Shepherd crossed with American Pit Bull Terrier, and the other 75% Presa Canario, which is already a BANDOG on its own of performance lines. And thereby they include a little bit of bull herder blood. As mentioned in other videos, the bull herder is a cross very often with other more combat orientated dogs, especially American Pit Bull Terriers and the likes, but sometimes also they use some Mastiff, and they also do that bull. In my opinion that would be more of a Mastiff, but also, like they mentioned, the bull lurchers are also, in my opinion, more Mastiff lurchers. But let's not get caught on names. It's much more important that a BANDOG or a running Mastiff is able to do what it is able to do. And a Dutch Shepherd that they chose already has, for a Shepherd type of dog, more bull blood than, for example, the Belgian Malinois, which is also a very performance orientated animal, has. And the Shepherd also brings a lot of drive and interaction with their owner, whereas Mastiffs and Bull and Terriers are often more solo working, and yeah, they all bring their own advantages. The drawback of crossing all these types of dogs could be that you are losing some of the functionality because it will be scatterbred, but you can counter that by performance selection, of course. Then you only have the benefits of the rich gene pool. So a long story short, this breeding program by SAVANT K9 is very interesting, and I'm really wondering if in the future those two breeding programs would not collide. So what do I mean with that? Is that the bull lurches, or they're running mastiffs, will also be incorporated in the BANDOG program, and the other way around. Because if you would breed a little bit of staghound or other type of running dog together with the BANDOG programs, of course you get a running mastiff as well. And if you breed a little bit of running mastiff into your BANDOG program, you get a dog that's more athletic and faster. If you already have quite massive bandogs because they carry this heavy Mastino blood quite a lot, you will be very close to an average bandog in bone, for example. And as I mentioned, also their bandog program is quite heavy on this mastiff. So I just think that SAVANT K9 is really trying to revigorate the mastiff blood again. So by either getting them a lot faster and more nimble with the running types of mastiff, or more battle orientated and determined with their bandog program. Hope you like this video. If you do, please feel free to subscribe. Have a great day. Oh, the dog here on the leash is not a bandog or not a running mastiff, but just a small terrier. Mikey. This is a Patterdale type. It's also known as the black fell, and used for taking care of vermin, especially predator vermin such as foxes, badgers, but also rats, raccoons, raccoon dogs and the likes. Some even use them on coyotes, but that's another story altogether. And then you have to have multiple Patterdale terriers because otherwise coyotes can easily kill them. Have a great day. In this video we will discuss the minimum size of a protection dog, or in other words, minimum protection dogs in size. So some people tell you my Yacht Terrier is a perfect protection dog because he is very wary of strangers and also very determined, and that might be, and I'm not taking anything away from their bravery, but there's something like physics. If you have a dog of 8 to 12 kilograms, that will be easily manipulated. So for example, lifted up and smacked down on the ground again, which will lead to injury. So for example, broken bones, broken ribs, broken skull, something like that. And there is a minimum size, in my opinion, that you need for a dog to do protection work. It could be different, for example, if you have that Yacht Terrier of 12 kilograms, but you have 2 or 3 of them. That will be completely different, because they might be able to manipulate one, but the others will still do the damage, so to say. And that could be adding up, so it will halt an intruder or an attacker. And there's not another thing, the alertness doesn't depend on the size. Very often a dog that is smaller is more alert than a bigger type of dog, also more energetic. And another factor is, next to alertness that doesn't depend on size, do you want your dog to halt the intruder, take up its time, or do you want a dog that can defeat an intruder? And this is, in my opinion, an enormous difference. So for example, if you want a dog that can defeat an intruder, a bandog type of dog, man-stopping type of dog, mastiff, molosser, would be your best pick because they have size and a lot of strength on their side. Whereas if you want a dog that keeps an intruder busy, a smaller dog could also do quite well. Of course, as I mentioned, the smaller size also offers more opportunity to manipulate and injure. So for example, the big Molosser, also when it gets hurt or stabbed, they still have quite a big chance to survive. If you can see in this, if you can ask a hunter, for example, a very big boar, it's really hard to stop. They need a very long knife to hit the heart and to make it, make it bleed out, so to say. Whereas a smaller one is very easy because there's only a small amount of room, so a big amount of room with that big hook to the heart, and with a small dog is like this, so it would be very easy to hit the heart. And there are some examples to just name. Then back to the question, for a dog that can solely have some stopping ability, I think it should be around 20 kilograms minimum. So, and if you have a smaller dog, you need more than one. You need 2 or 3. If you have, for example, 12 kilogram dog, as I mentioned earlier, I think 2 12 kilogram dogs can still cause trouble and will delay an intruder, whereas a really stopping power should be 40 kilograms plus. And then you could have a small band dog, for example. That being said, the small dogs can double the alertness if you have multiple dogs for the same kilograms of dogs. Have a great day. This morning we are going to talk about the predator defense dog, which is a new American breed and is being bred to protect against predators such as wolves, bears, coyotes, bobtails, other lynxes, but also smaller predators such as foxes, raccoons, and also for feral hogs. The breeds that they used to create this breed are predominantly the Rottweiler, the German breed of Molosser, and the Johnson type American Bulldog, which is an American breed of bulldog and is quite massive. Whereas the Rottweiler is one of the smallest mastiffs or Molosser type of dogs, the American Johnson Bulldog is the biggest of all the bulldogs there are. And they use a specific line of American Bulldogs that had better characteristics as in drive and possibilities. So both the Rottweiler and the American Bulldogs are being used as guardian breeds, whereas some bulldogs are also used as catch dogs, for example catching feral hogs. So thereby combining guardian defense dog qualities against humankind, because they talk about this predator defense dog as a dog to face off with predators, but they also face off with humans. And in that case, the purpose looks a lot like that of a band dog. And the band dog is also there to deal with man or beast and to protect against those that bring harm. So that also gives you a perspective if you want something else along the similar lines. And protection against humans, Rottweilers are a very good choice if you get them for working lines. And why is that the case? Because you get the protection properties of a guard dog mixed with a little bit more laid back character as compared to, for example, a shepherd type of guardian dog. And also you have the size, you have man stopping ability. The size of a Johnson Bulldog on average is similar to even bigger than that of a Rottweiler. So also these Johnson type Bulldogs have great stopping power. So that brings you to the topic, what other breeds did they use? They wanted to increase the grit, and therefore they bred in working type American Pit Bull Terrier, which is a true gladiator dog, but they use extra large lines. So therefore they also bred in a lot of weight pulling Pit Bull type of dogs. In my opinion, I like the heterosis, so they have increased the gene set. Still the dogs look predominantly Rottweiler type. So if you like Rottweilers, this could be an interesting alternative. But in my opinion, there might be some better choices, and I will explain why. Rottweiler is a dog that is suitable for protection, but lately this dog breed has a low percentage of working specimens. And there are other breeds, and they use this XL Pit Bull Terrier type to do not give away too much of the size. And the size range of this predator defense dog is between 100 and 160 pounds, so about 45 to 72 kilograms, which is quite big to begin with. So that's the point, and there are other types that are being worked more consistently that have similar attributes as the Rottweiler. For example, the Boer Bull. And the Boer Bull is also already bred to deal with human threats, but also animal threats. So for example, baboons, leopards, hyenas, and the likes. So that could be a better choice. Or go with, for example, a livestock protection breed that has been developed to protect against wolves and bears predominantly. So for example, if you want a shorter coat, there are dogs like the Alabai that also feature this very thick, strong skull and big power and size, bigger than the Rottweiler even. So that could be an alternative source of Rottweiler, and then being dealing with some predators. If you want to have a Johnson type of bulldog, of course you get the biggest type of bulldog, but also that with the least drive and the least athletic properties. Normally a cat American Bulldog would be Scott type or Margarita Painter, which are far more athletic and look a lot more like a Dogo Argentino than a Johnson Bulldog. Dogo Argentino is another dog breed that has been developed to deal with, for example, predators such as puma, but especially with hawks. So my worries are that both the Johnson and the Rottweiler carry too little prey drive, and also are not as athletic as they should be. So therefore, if you introduce another factor, you will be almost producing a scatterbred dog that could be very healthy, but also would be hard pressed to deliver with consistency the type of pups that you want. So for example, if you would go with Alabai, which is a livestock protection breed, and Scott type American Bulldog, you would have a similar size, a lot more athletic capabilities and a lot more drive. And also Boer Bull could be a superior choice, even increasing bulk as compared to, for example, Rottweiler. Another thing is there are many good bandog programs. For example, American Sentinel K9 that are specifically developed to deal with threats, being human or hunting hawks. So they are not as much to deal with animals that come on your turf, but their protective nature, their hunting drive, as well as their predator disposal skills and strength, would be a very good choice. And these dogs are bred true and very much look like an XL American Pit Bull Terrier of game lines. So not so much weight pool, but game lines, and they are in the bottom range of this predator defense dog already. It could be a far better choice also if you would look towards extra large American Pit Bull Terriers, especially weight pool ones. So those are some of the factors to consider. That being said, I like the initiative a lot, but I think it could be executed far better, and therefore I gave some pointers. I hope that you like this video. If you do, let me know. If you have some additional information that you want to share, or why these choices were made over the choices that I propose, please let me know. Have a great day.